We're going to talk about a few ways that you can grow your sales on Amazon.com. Whether you're trying to grow an entire line of products in a brand, or you just are running one product and you're having difficulty gaining momentum, gaining organic keyword ranking, making your ads profitable, things like that. There are so many different ways you can, over time, in a patient way. So one of the first ones, and you may have already been doing it, is making sure that your subscribe and save is maximized. And there's another little sideways to do a subscribe and save to really get the long-term repeat customer going. First of all, Amazon, once you're in inventory for a short period of time, Amazon will throw in 5% subscribe and save on your product. Now, that's really often not enough to grow a customer base. I have several products that I work with where it's at 5%, and the subscribe and save really just randomly goes up. But if you add the extra 10% where you fund the 10%, it gives it a lot of juice. You actually end up really building a subscribe and save base of customers that are repeat. And oftentimes they're ordering your product. If it's a consumable, every 2 months. If it's something that's a supplement, perhaps they're even ordering it every 1 month. Subscribe and save, throwing in that 10% kicker is extremely important. Now, there's another side note, and something that you want to utilize often is the couponing strategy. And you can couple that with subscribe and saves. You can experiment with coupons. You can do 10%, $2, dollar amounts, or percentage amounts. But you can also say there's a coupon that if the customer subscribes and saves, they'll get a one-time discount of maybe 20 or 30%. Now, that is a steep discount, but it's really going to juice your long-term customer account, your repeat customer account. So I have seen on Amazon where other sellers have done 30% if you subscribe and save on your first order. So they're getting 30%. They might be getting the extra 10 plus the Amazon 5. So they're saving 45% on the subscribe and save on that first order. However, if they're getting it every 2 months and the next future orders will only be 15% off, you're going to get 6 orders from that customer in a year. That's fantastic. You can take a hit on the first order. It doesn't really matter. If you feel the margins are there on subsequent orders at where you're kicking in 10% off, then it's a fantastic way. Build a base of customers, build a base of demand. So definitely check that out, as well as couponing strategies. Continually doing coupons will allow you to increase conversion. When your conversion goes up, you're going to build more organic rank, and that's always great, getting the organic juice going. Another way which everybody talks about and you may have checked out is to regularly go to the well of influencers, getting influencers to talk about your product online, whether it's blogs, whether it's TikTok influencers, Instagram influencers, YouTube influencers, or even Amazon's own influencers. It's important to budget a marketing spend to do a few influencers, if not, if you can, 50 influencers a month, 100 influencers a month, to keep the buzz going online, to keep, not only are you going to get a lot of order flow on your Amazon product from the influencers, but it's going to create a lot of buzz for your brand. One of the influencer platforms that I prefer is Join Brands, and you can take a look at it. There's a link in the description. Join Brands is one of many influencer platforms that make it pretty easy to do that, to generate the buzz. And as a bonus, oftentimes you can use you have the rights, the commercial rights to use the creatives, what the influencer shot. You can use it in your own creatives or your own advertising on Amazon or off Amazon. It's a really nice way to build momentum in your brand, is to continually go to the well of influencers and trying to get 5, 10, depending on what your marketing budget is. 50, just depends in your inventory and things like that. But to repeatedly go to influencers, because if your product's great, you may feel like, oh, I'm spending all this money on influencers. But if your product really is great and it's differentiated in the marketplace, there's a lot of long-term value in getting that product in people's hands. You ever go to Costco and they give you samples, or I worked in New York City a long time in my 20s and 30s, and there were often companies just giving away drinks on the street as a marketing ploy. Just get the drinks in people's hands, let them try it. And they spent a lot of money on that stuff in New York City. And the thing is, if you like the product, now you're going to drink it for the next 5 years. Plus, you might actually have it in your fridge when your friends come over, and you might have it at parties. They give you one free can, but then you're buying thousands of those a year. The giveaway to the influencers can be that duplicative effect of where more people are buying it, the multiplier effect, right? We talked about couponing and things like that. You may want to vary pricing from week to week or month to month. You may want to try one week a month where you drop the price a significant amount. You vary those coupons week to week with a real plan to analyze the results. You can analyze the conversion changes of your product. Amazon gives you the conversion data. So you can really understand like if there's a correlation between what you're doing with pricing and what's actually happening when the customer sees your product. Is your conversion going up dramatically versus the price cut? And can your margins handle significant price cut or significant discounting or both at the same time? These are things to factor in when you're doing these types of things. But when your conversion goes up due to lower pricing or discounting, that really helps your organic rank on Amazon. It's almost like a momentum machine, or you feed it a little momentum and then it just builds and blows up over time. So try to play around with pricing. And the next thing that I love to take advantage of, it only happens maybe 3 or 4 times a year, is any type of Prime Day event or any type of special sale event on Amazon is an amazing way for you to get your products in people's hands and to, as a bonus, build your organic rank. I always, on brands that I'm working with that I want to explode over time, when I want to really build, is we'll run a Prime Day deal, a Black Friday deal, a Cyber Monday deal, the spring sale deal. Anytime we have Prime Day coming up. So I believe there's maybe 3 or 4 sales events a year. They did a fall event in October, right? So now you have the spring sale, you have Prime Day in the summer, then you have an October sales event, and then you have Black Friday and Cyber Monday, which they made the entire week. These events, if you have the inventory in there and you have margins to where you're not, even if you're losing $1 or $2 a sale, but if it's a consumable product, you build so much momentum utilizing these Prime events. And why is that? If you run a deal 25, 30, 40% off, these are extremely attractive to consumers. And when they go to Amazon on those deal days, they're really excited or really apt to spend their money on the deep discounted items or something they want to try. It's really compelling. And what I've often found is I gain a ton of new customers on those events, and a lot of them come back. Again, let's get back to your product. If your product is good or great or excellent, then, if you can get a customer and only lose $1 or $2 after the discount, and you got a customer for life, wow. And you're going to get them back at full price. So it's such a base building operation when you are providing a generous discount on those special Amazon shopping days. It's really amazing. And I see my organic ranks a few days after the sale's over, they all shoot up to the moon. I gained so much traction from using Prime Day deals that it's honestly something that you have to see to believe how much organic rank you gain. Now, over time, you could give that back because your conversion may revert back to where it was prior to the Prime Day. So you need to factor that in, that over time, you may actually fall back. However, certain brands I've seen that I work with, they're just at another level after that deal. they're just at another sales level. If they were selling 8 a day prior, now they're selling 15 to 30 a day after. So I ultra discounted 400 units and it gained so much rank that I'm selling 150 to 200% more well after the actual sales event on an average day at that point. And you keep building month after month. There's 4 sales events a year. So let's just say they were every quarter after quarter, you're building higher and higher bases for your product and it gets stronger and stronger quarter after quarter, year after year. It's amazing. And these things, you cannot sleep on them. I've done a round of influencers, a blast. They call them social blast on Join Brands. And a social blast creates so much momentum that I've seen with some of the brands that do that it is miraculous. So these are a lot of things, a lot of tools you can use that Amazon provides you or that's off Amazon that can really help you grow your product sales, get momentum going for your brand or product. Maybe you feel it's stale and they don't cost a lot of money. But you can see with PPC, you could spend $500 a day and it doesn't really do much for you. And an influencer campaign or the Prime Days, you may spend a lot less. And they actually they do provenly boost your organic rank and things like that. So take a look at some of these options, try to employ them. We have a Prime Day coming up soon. I wish you luck and thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.